Welcome, everyone. My name is Stephanie Tauber-Gomez, and I work at Digital Switzerland, where I co-lead the area of collaborative innovation. Usually what I do is I bring different organizations together to collaboratively innovate, meaning finding jointly solutions by using the power of digitalization and innovation to today's challenges, such as how to improve the healthcare system or how to find solutions for the climate change. But today I'm here to present to you the Startup Battles 2021. The Startup Battle is Digital Day's stage for promoting and supporting Swiss entrepreneurs. But more than just this, it's about sharing their passion with you and helping you understand what it is that drives entrepreneurs to work on finding better solutions. So not everyone has to become an entrepreneur, but especially thinking of, well, the complex world we find ourselves in, an entrepreneurial spirit is what helps us to always strive for a better solution and not just simply accept how things are today. So I'm super happy to be presenting to you 15 startups. As we're today already on our episode number 4, we have another 3 startups that will be pitching to convince you, me, and most of all, our experts. They will do so by presenting their businesses in 90 seconds. What you can do is you can go to our website, digitaltalk.swiss/startup battle, and vote for your favorite startup to get a spot on the finals on November 10th. Luckily, I'm not all by myself doing this, and it's a pleasure to welcome as well my guest moderator and a colleague, Matthias Zwingli, Head of Entrepreneurship at Digital Switzerland. So, I mean, Matthias, the whole working with and for startup has become quite, let's say, cool and fancy in the last decade. People tend to forget that it's actually a lot of work as well. But so what is it that inspires you or motivates you to continue to work with and for the startup ecosystem?
Well, it's such a pleasure to be here, Stephanie. Thanks a lot. And well, I have to say, in my eyes, they're the biggest visionaries and most thoughtful people ever, because you work on a crazy idea like a hologram, which you hear later on, or some trying to solve the climate change or sustainability in general. And that is just such a big journey, and just like you earn a lot of feedback you have to handle, and you kind of have to keep on the vision and know when to let go. So I think for me, it's super inspiring, and that drives me on a daily basis.
Cool. But on this note, I mean, as you said, like it's a continuous learning curve. So it's not just the 2 of us. We have some more people here, right?
Exactly. So I have the absolute pleasure to introduce Stefan Chiora. He's the editor-in-chief at Startup Ticker. In my eyes, the #1 news platform, everything startup related. So if you don't know it yet, that's where you have to go. And probably the most informed person when it comes to the Swiss startup ecosystem as well. And so you're spending over 10 years in this space. My question to you is, what drives you on a daily basis? How do you keep motivated?
Yeah, let me give you 2 very short answers. So the first short answer is, I mean, all these crazy guys trying to do something new every day, coming up with new ideas. So I have always surprises, even after 10 years. And the second, a little bit more serious, startups nowadays have economic relevance for Switzerland. So employing 50,000 employees, that's quite a high number. And I think it's important then to help them and to keep this ecosystem going.
Amazing. So thanks a lot for that. And I totally agree. The crazy guys really get me going and excite me every day. And the crazy girls, of course. So my next expert, Claire, comes from Swisscom Ventures. It's Claire Wenger, and she's an investment manager at Swisscom Ventures, probably one of the biggest and most active VCs, or one of the biggest and most active VCs in Switzerland. And I happen to know that you just closed one of the rounds with probably Silicon Valley's most renowned VCs, so Sequoia and Andreessen Horowitz. And I mean, that is great. My question to you is, how was it to work with them? And how do we get more rounds like that for Swiss startups?
Wow. Well, I think that we really see that all these international top players are looking at Swiss startups now. It's just popping up on their radars, which is great. And yeah, we are seeing more and more of those rounds, and I think this will continue. There is no reason why it should not.
Amazing. So thanks a lot for starting it, and maybe you have some more in this batch of 15 startups that soon go in this exclusive club of chosen startups, I would say. Perfect. So we know the experts. Next up, I have the absolute pleasure to introduce the entrepreneurs, the crazy guys. So first up, I introduce Inverse and its co-founder Javier Bejo Ruz.
Yes.
I tried to pronounce it right. So Inverse, it's I think that for me. So you're basically creating holograms.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that still sounds like somewhere out of Star Trek and some crazy, crazy experience.
Big inspiration there.
I do agree. And so my question to you is, how did you come up with the idea to create a hologram?
So I have always been a fan of technology and indeed science fiction. So when I was watching those movies, I was really imagining how to bring those to life and also think new ones that belong to us, right? And with the startup with Inverse, we had the opportunity to bring this live holographic capture to life. And I think that that's very relevant nowadays, especially with remote work, with the limitations that we have to interact socially with each other. So with these live holograms and the metaverse, we have the opportunity, to be together from different locations and simplify or easy the life that we are living now.
Amazing. Yeah, I can't wait to have more exciting Zoom calls with live hologram to hologram. So can't wait for that. Well, Javier, the drill is quite simple. You have 90 seconds to convince the audience, the experts, and the jury that you're the one that you make it into the final. The stage is yours.
Perfect. So the metaverse is coming, and Inverse will power it. Our software for live 3D telepresence allows to capture yourself in real time and stream your 3D hologram anywhere. All you need is one camera, one like this one from Microsoft, or even simpler. You can do it from a tablet. This is the Leia tablet, Leia as Princess Leia, very fitting for holograms. So from this tablet, not only you can capture yourself, but also it's able to display the hologram of the other person popping out from the screen because it has a 3D display technology. So we will soon announce 3 major partnerships, one for businesses. This is including live concerts and also remote work. One for creators, so gamers and streamers can be a hologram on Twitch and YouTube, and also one for consumers to have live holographic calls on your tablet or smartphone. Our software will be released early October on different online marketplaces, including Windows and Unity. And so let's meet soon in the metaverse, from your phone, from virtual reality, wherever it is. Let's see each other soon.
Thanks a lot, Javier. I have to admit, though, you kept a lot of the details in the dark. So
Yes.
still playing with, should I say, still trying to make us even more curious about Inverse. So without further ado, I would like to actually hand over to our 2 very experienced experts. Who of you would like to start getting more of the information out of the dark from Inverse?
Happy to ask my first question. Thanks a lot for the presentation. Very exciting technology, very futuristic. And so you showed quickly this camera. Is that really like the only thing a user needs to be able to have a full hologram? And
From the upcoming release, we are actually going to be able to use from one camera connected to your laptop, and that will be enough to have your upper body captured as a 3D hologram. But we can use up to 9 cameras for a full body capture or multiple people. So it's a matter of the use case. But anybody with one camera or with your tablet and the sensors on it can capture themselves.
And the receiver is seeing then the hologram on a screen, or is it kind of like popping up above the screen like in the movies?
So you can imagine you could do it from your laptop, as when you are exploring a game, you will see the person in 3D on your laptop. But obviously in VR, AR glasses, you could have a conversation with somebody that is really in front of yourself, like in thinner, like having a meeting in real life.
Okay. Let's talk a bit about the business side. So, what is your business model, and do your customer have to change anything in their usual processes to integrate your solution?
So that's a very good question. The business model is a simple software subscription that you will find in different marketplaces, including Windows, Unity, that is for 3D content creation, and other platforms that we are establishing partnerships with. And you don't need to use anything different from what you do now. Like, we are integrating with different softwares that everybody uses daily for communication, for gaming, and so on, in which we will have a plugin to those software. So it will be part of your standard work or gaming or entertainment life.
So back a little bit to the value proposition of the product. What is really the value add for the user versus seeing someone just on a video screen?
Sure. I mean, this comes also from our background. We are not only 3D graphics engineers, but also we have expertise in neuroscience from EPFL. So the feeling of presence, agency, interactivity, that's really missing on a 2D screen. It's dividing you from the other person. Virtual reality, 3D holograms, and these technologies will really give you the social perception of being with the other person there. So it's more engaging for training. It's more interesting for gamers to present themselves to their audience as a hologram. But in short, it's really closer to a real experience.
Okay. I mean, you demonstrated this solution several times, and I saw it evolving over time. It's getting better and better. But still, I mean, it's amazing to see it when you display it. However, if you look closer, you see pixels, and there will always be a trade-off between the quality of the image and the data volume you need. I mean, gaming, for me, that's really high-end. This must really be close to perfect. Is this really where you are at the moment, or will this need a few months, years more to get there?
So that's a good question as well. We are actually, as you wish, limited by the current devices that we use, because we use only commercially available cameras, but they are good enough. Indeed, for gaming, the software that we will release in October will be using this Microsoft camera that is a 4K camera. So the quality of the image is going to be really good. Then you just need to make it better for when you are capturing people in full body, and that will be also part of the release. We have new machine learning, AI algorithms that really makes a clear capture and a nice hologram.
Well, on this note, I have to say I'm very excited for the releases now in October coming out, because yes, we're all a bit tired of these Zoom calls. And as you rightly pointed out, there is so much social interaction that just are signs that are just going lost. So very, very curious to see how we hopefully eventually will be able to immerse ourselves with Inverse.
Yes.
So Javier, on that note, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you and your team.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Matthias, we're ready for the second startup.
Me as well. So next up, I have the pleasure to introduce Enlytra and co-founder Maxim Karpov. Enlytra develops cost and energy efficient multicolor lasers. And I'm not a laser expert, so I don't know too much about that, but I'm sure, Maxim, you will tell us all about lasers in your pitch. Maybe to start with, what technology or what tech gadget make made the biggest impact on your life so far?
Well, I think it's a smartwatch. I think they forced me to train twice than I did before.
So it's interesting how technology can help you evolve and vice versa. Perfect. So Maxim, I think we jump right into the pitch. You have 90 seconds and the stage is yours.
Thank you. So Elytra is driving a laser hardware revolution for data transmission. These data centers are drowning in data traffic, handling about 300 exabytes of data every month. And this burden puts them in a constant search for solutions to make it faster, more energy efficient, and use less energy. Our solution is based on a tiny silicon chip, which is able to replace the hundreds of high-quality lasers used for data transmission and data processing, which is at the same time being able to be more energy efficient, up to 10 times, and also cheaper. Our system, based on one of the chips, can handle the data rates of up to 30 terabit per second, and we believe that this is the next stage of laser hardware. So our target customers are data center and providers of telecom equipment, and this is a highly growing market, and we expect the revenue of on the order of 20 million per year in the next 5 years. We have an excellent team of about 3 people, and we have more than 30 years of experience in deep tech research and engineering. My name is Maxim Karpov. I'm co-founder of Elytra.
Thanks a lot, Maxime. I have to admit, I have a lot of questions, beginning with approximately or definitely 3 people. But I don't want to take the questions away. So, Stefan, would you like to start?
Yeah, maybe it's also interesting for the broader audience. Can you explain a bit what you are planning to do yourself and what you're planning to outsource? Will you really produce those chips or parts of the chips? So maybe you can just describe.
The core technology is this silicon chip, and the core knowledge is the design of this chip and how to make it work. So in principle, we can fabricate them either in Switzerland, so there are foundries which can fabricate them in Switzerland, or in somewhere in other places of the world. Another knowledge which we also bring to the systems is how to build the system and, again, how to make this chip work.
Maybe to follow up on that question, so this means that you will sell the tech, you will provide the technology, but someone needs to integrate it and make a product out of this, right?
I can more elaborate on this. So at the first stage, we would like to sell the full system to kind of touch up the market. And at the second stage, because it's a new technology, we would like that the market would pick it up. And at the next stage and the following stages, we would like to sell the custom, small modules, which our customers could integrate into their solutions for data centers or telecom equipment.
And I know also from other portfolio companies in this similar space that adoption can take a lot of time with chip design and all the certification processes, etc. So do you already have first partners interested that you are working with?
Exactly. So we already have, we have a first leading provider of data center infrastructure who is purchasing our systems already now.
Already purchasing?
Exactly.
So basically you already have an order
exactly
for the technology. That's great.
So we.
Okay, regarding the finances, so I mean, one thing is of course the technical side and the go-to-market strategy. On the other hand, I mean, you will need a bit of investment money too. So do you have already contacts to investors? Have you already generated investments, interested business angels, something like that?
We are now starting to raise a seed round, so we're communicating with a few venture capitalist firms and also business angels. So we are on a good track with that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe just to follow up on the aspects of starting now with the first seed round, I would like to, I will invite both of you just to think of what would be one piece of advice that you would like to give Maxime and his team at Elytra with regards to the seed round, yeah?
Well, I think one very good aspect that you already have is a customer, right?
We have traction, right?
I mean, for such a technology at such an early stage, it's already a great achievement. But I think what investors always want to see is not the whole business being dependent on just one single customer. So if you can show, where you stand, how your pipeline looks like with other potential customers or use cases, I think that would be very valuable.
Thank you.
Yeah, what I think from my side, I mean, this case sounds very engineering driven, and that's good for the phase you are in. But I think you should be also able to find a board member or an angel investor or both in one person with business background who knows whom to talk to also in different countries along the value chain. So, I mean, investing in a team of 3 engineers is always a bit critical because they love their product and not often the customer.
Thank you.
So basically, again, it's always a balance act. To some extent, great that you already have a customer, but don't get too dependent on these customers because it might frighten potential investors. And as Stefan rightly mentioned, depending on the stage, it makes sense that it is more tech intensive, but to really not miss out on the right moment to get the business acumen needed. Well, on that note, thank you so much, Maxime, for being here. Best of luck to you and your team at Lytra.
Thank you.
And we're already at the very last startup
but
of
not
today.
least. All right. So last but not least, big package there coming. So let me introduce you to the last startup of today, Zenon, and its co-founder Blas.
Thank you.
You're an assistant platform that gathers all your durable products in one space. So basically, I think if I break something and I don't find the warranty, it's at Zenon.
Correct. Yeah. And much more.
Much more. Very good.
I'll tell you much more about it when it's my turn, right?
Exactly. So my question to you, what was the first tech gadget you used? And follow-up question, what was the first tech gadget you used and you didn't find a warranty for it?
Yeah, I think for the tech gadget, probably the first one I used was, it will give away my age, right, is actually the Nintendo, the first one, not the Super Nintendo, right, back in the days. And the ones I actually, didn't have the warranty for was actually a PlayStation. Now, as a disclaimer, I'm not a big gamer, but it's just a coincidence that those two things sort of, match up.
Amazing. Well, let's jump right into the pitch.
Sure.
Same as for everyone, 90 seconds, convince the audience, convince the experts. Stage is yours.
Thank you. So, Blas, I'm co-founder at Zenon. Like most of you, as a family, we buy a lot of products at home. Now, what tends to happen is that we used to have a box like this where we'd keep user manuals, receipts, and also the user manuals and receipts. And then whenever we're looking for the receipt, we could not find it, right? So we said at Zenon, let's actually build an app that will enable you to track all your purchases, give them a new digital home, and make your life easier, right? So how does it work? Actually, you scan the barcode or scan the receipt, and then you get all the information about a product. You're also able to see the video tips and tricks. You're able to sell products you no longer need. And you're also able to get tech support for the products that are not working properly via our partner. So what's coming for the future? We're actually working on on-demand insurance. So you're going to be able to insure a product for however long you're using it. For example, a bike just for a day or a week with a leading insurance group. And in the future, we're also going to bring out the renting out of the product. So I, for instance, use a drilling machine, unfortunately, only once per year. I could rent it out to people in the neighborhood. So thank you for listening to us. I'm Blas, co-founder at Zenon. We keep all your products in one place. Thank you for your vote and time and attention.
Thanks a lot, Blas. I have to say, while listening, I was like, oh man, is it a platform? Is it a marketplace? Is it B2B, B2C? This is why I need both of you to help me figure it out. What is it? Claire, would you like to start maybe?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, it sounds, the product sounds so simple, but I think it's really a real value there. I mean, I know the problem. As often also, you keep the receipts, but then the black disappears, right? After a few days, and you just have a white paper. So, no, I definitely see the value. But one question is, is there really all this information in the barcode, or do you have to build this data bank, basically, or how does that work?
So we have a partnership with the Barcode database. What they have is the brand, the model as well, which sometimes we forget about what model exactly is we bought. And then the other option of adding the product as well via the scanning the receipt. So that gives you as well when you bought it, where you bought it, how much you paid it for. And it's also proof of purchase at any point of time. Later on, you decide to sell it, right? That's the benefit of that as well. So basically, we don't need to build it all ourselves. We're actually also partnering with the brand companies that put us in the packaging. So in the future, pretty much any product you're going to be buying is going to have a QR code from Zenone and all the information in one place, fully. But we decided to start with the very simple things that we can tackle immediately, right? Having the warranty alarm, which you can set up yourself, being able to get information from YouTube on how to use the products, how to make the most out of them. I'm not sure whether I answered the question.
No, yes, you did. And then, yes, the other question would be, like, is this something that you would sell to the insurances, or that you would, is it free for the user, or how does the revenue stream work?
So it is free for the users. We wanted to make sure that everybody has an access to it, because at the end of the day, we want to make people's life easier and also more sustainable, right? But we charge, we work with the insurance companies that then offer that product to it, and we work with the reputable insurance companies to make sure that it really works properly. We cannot disclose it, unfortunately, but it's coming out very soon.
Yeah, your introduction was, I think, quite good. So, have you ever heard of a Swiss company called Allthings or KIP?
Excuse me?
Have you ever heard about a Swiss company named Allthings or KIP?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And they started out trying to do the same thing that you are doing, and then they focused on the real estate sector and now have an app for communication between tenants and landlords. That was, for me, a quite logical development to focus on one sector. So, you do everything, and then on top you have the sharing platform, or there are sharing platforms out there. And so wouldn't it be better to focus on one topic, on one niche to start with?
So I think that's a very good question. The way we handle that is essentially there are a lot of solutions out there that that exist. For example, Tech Platform, we partner with a Swiss tech company that enables us to do that. Same for insurances. So essentially what we're doing is we're connecting the dots across the platforms that exist and the solutions that are out there, just bringing it in one place. Business to consumer, essentially, that's where part of my background comes from. So I used to work for, the consumer goods companies, and I knew that they would also like to be engaged directly with the users as well. So that's where part of the reason why we do it. But we're tackling it one by one. So I told you some of the things exist, some of them are coming in the future.
And then another question from my side is,
Sure.
How do you plan to really scale and then get the users on that platform in a sustainable manner without just splashing marketing costs on AdWords?
We have not done 100 million fundraise yet. So to answer that question, the way we do it is we actually work with partners, right? Brands, retailers, insurance groups. They would like to engage with the users directly. They currently cannot. And we basically provide that platform in the benefit of the user and the benefit of the brand to be able to engage with the users and give them a better customer experience, right? One of the reasons why the experience is sometimes broken for a lot of products is because they cannot engage with the users after the users buy the products.
Mm-hmm. So very interesting, basically not only using the partners to collaborate on further developing the value, but as well helping them to get closer to their own customers.
Correct.
Right? Well, Blaise, thank you so much for having presented to us Zenone. Best of luck to you and your team.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we're already at the end of the 4th episode of the Startup Battle. As promised, you can go and vote onto our webpage, digitaltalk.swiss/startupbattle, and help to get your favorite startup a spot on the final on November 10th. On this note, I would like to thank, of course, first of all our entrepreneurs. So Javier with Inverse, Maxime with Enlytra, and Blaise with Zenon. And our great experts, Clea and Stefan. Thank you so much. And lastly, thank you to all of our partners, InnoSwiss, AWS, Swisscom, SIGTIC, and Canton de Vaud. Merci beaucoup. Already looking forward to seeing you for the last episode before the finals next week again on Wednesday.